Cats
We're alive! We're alive!
cats are dumb. They just don't even know how to like speak English. So dumb.
I know, cats are really dumb. The fact that they can't speak English is just unacceptable.
Like, when I tell my cat that I want him to boil the fucking kettle, why is the kettle not being boiled when I come out there? Explain that to me. I don't get that concept. That doesn't register in my brain.
It doesn't make any sense, man. Should probably just...
Why can't they just think? Just think. Use your brain.
Should probably just, like, hit him or put him in a microwave or something like that.
Or
punish
what about,
him.
I was thinking punching physical assault. What about in a laundry machine?
Yeah, that's pretty popular on YouTube, I hear. Just throw.
Yeah, those videos do quite well. They get a lot of views.
You know, they say that controversy leads to popularity, so you know, just throw him in the dryer, turn it on for a little bit, pretend he was enjoying it, and I'm sure that you'll skyrocket our channel like to the top of YouTube with that.
If my cat has issues drying off, I can help with that.
Yeah.
Throw them in the dryer. That's all you gotta do.
Cats hate water. It's basically doing them a favor.
They do hate water. Yes. Especially when I spray it on them and pour buckets of it on them. I don't understand.
And
You're supposed to be able to, you drink this. Well, why can't I pour buckets of it on you?
Yeah, why can't I spit vodka into your mouth? That's another good one.
Dota 2 subreddit. Dota Alchemy advocates animal abuse and child abuse. You should do this to children as well. Just spit alcohol in their mouths.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, you got to start them young somehow, right? So
exactly. Because otherwise, they're gonna be an alcoholic when they get older. You have to show them what it's like. Oh, this is what it's like to have a hangover. You don't like it. You're not gonna be an alcoholic. Right. That's why I'm spitting vodka in your mouth. Why are you spitting it into my mouth, Dad? Because I have to taste it first to make sure that it's real vodka. But Dad, that's the same bottle. How could the first sip be vodka, and then the next one isn't? I don't know if somebody replaced the bottle when I was looking at you having this conversation. So how about don't talk to me while I'm trying to spit vodka in your mouth?
Yeah, why can't you be more like a cat and not know how to speak English, you fucking child?
Yeah, moron child. Children are so much dumber than non-English speaking cats. Yeah. Just spit vodka into their mouths.
So, welcome to Alchemy Answers, everybody.
Yeah, Adams, love your vids, by the way. Thank you.
Some good stuff.
Be sure to thumbs up and thumbs down this one. People say on the these days.
Is this a bit? Question mark.
It's a bit. I love that we're using like comedian slang now, calling things bits. I love that. I think that's so funny.
Yeah, man. My
whole life is just doing stupid bits. Dude, I'm coming up with theories on it too. You know, it's like comedy's you know, it's a real art. And you know, I was going to the local pizza joint the other day, and I put my name as Watermelon there because my caller ID shows up as large watermelon, and so I put my name as Watermelon. I walked in and they're just like, "Oh, just Watermelon today, right?" And I fucked up the bit. I had a really funny bit that I was gonna do, but the delivery was wrong. But think of this. Imagine this.
Okay.
Imagine this. Local pizza joint. They know I'm this guy that always comes in and says I'm large watermelon. And then they're like, "Oh, just watermelon today?" And then what if I just go, "Oh, you know, my dad is in town. I know he's probably gonna order pizza from here, and you know, he's the original large watermelon." Right there, a couple of hearty chuckles. You know, that's what I would get. But I fucked it up. Like I butchered it. I said something like, you know, my dad's large watermelon, my grandpa's like even larger watermelon. I went too long with it, you know what I mean? And it's like the bit was ruined the moment that I just had drawn it out. Just like I'm drawing this out right here. It's like you ruined the moment, you know?
This is like a fever dream. Yeah, that's pretty much every interaction I've ever had with Jenkins.
Oh, what's a fever dream?
Those are like when you get super sick and so your brain's like literally cooking inside your head because of the fever, and you just start hallucinating and you start seeing weird stuff, hearing weird stuff.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could definitely do that.
So anyway, I guess you want to post this in Discord that we're live, and then we can, get started.
Sure.
How's everyone doing today? You guys enjoying the new matchmaking algorithm? You guys having fun playing with your friends? What a joke. None of you guys have friends. That's why you're watching us.
Wow. This guy's a fucking joke. My God.
Now you can't matchmake with your Archon friends and gain MMR. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I tried playing not strict solo queue for 3 games, and it was not fun. I lost 3 double downs, and that was about enough for me.
3 double downs. After the second one, you're like, third time's the charm.
Yeah, I literally was. I did too, and I was like, I should not double down this next game. And then I saw the little button, and I was like, I shouldn't click that. And then I was like, I don't care. I'm clicking it.
Jesus Christ, Donnie. Everybody on my friends list is like skyrocketing in MMR because everybody's just taking MMR off of Smurfs, like boosting with the Smurf, beating regular people. Then those people are getting on Smurfs.
Yeah.
Everybody's just slowly going up in rating.
What's funny is how angry all of the top MMR people are about it. Everybody's losing their mind. It's like Valve literally said, hey, we don't know if this is going to be good. We're experimenting with it, so bear with us. And people are like acting like they're trying to ruin the game on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know why people... I get it. Valve definitely, at certain points they're inactive, and that's frustrating. But people put so much on Valve, I think, that's totally almost impossible for them to do what's expected of them, at least on the subreddit, the Dota 2 subreddit.
Yeah, 100%.
50 things in a row where it's like, that should be easy to program. And like any software developer can look at it and be like, that doesn't sound like it's that easy. That could be really hard. Like even the little cosmetic things that the engine has like fucked up over the years, those are difficult to fix.
Right.
Like putting like brand new particles in, or putting a new like basically like a new skin in, like just to like fix particle effects. And I get that it's like broken in the first place, but that's just the nature of like maintaining this like massive game.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't they only have a 24-man team? I don't know.
Probably.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's pretty small from what I've heard.
There's only so much time that a developer can put into their work, like, yeah, something might be easy to fix, but then when they have a list of 100 other things that they need to fix as well, some which are more pressing, some which are more complicated, like issues are severely nuanced depending on the system.
Yeah, agreed. I've never watched TI before. What teams should be fun to watch? I'm excited to watch almost everybody play. Except for maybe Mineski, because I think they're going to be pretty terrible.
There's I think there's a lot of teams. Even Infamous should be interesting to watch. I've been watching a couple of the Infamous guys pub in China, and they're like styling on people. They're styling on like GH and Miracle and stuff. I don't know, as a team. I don't know if as a team they're going to be able to hold a candle to like Liquid, for example. But individually, they definitely are up there. They can.
Yeah.
Those guys are really good, and they seem like they're on fire right now. Like they are so hyped to go to TI.
Yeah. I also think that that newbie's going to have a pretty good TI. Like that's
I
my
hope so, man.
that's like my sleeper call is that they're gonna make like top 8 or something like that and really surprise people.
I really hope so, man. Let me tell you, I think CCNC is such a fantastic guy, genuinely fantastic. I don't know who else is on the team. It's like what you are.
Yeah, you are back to carry, which I think is really good for him because he just doesn't function that well as a mid in competitive games.
CCNC. Oh, they have Pylai Die too.
Yeah, as their 5 MSS Snake King.
Snake King, yeah. I mean, I don't know Snake King personally at all, but I know the guy's like a beastly offlaner. He's one of the people to look at it. A lot of North American players, at least tier 1.5, tier 2 players, it's almost not worth looking at their replays because of the difference between tier 1 and tier 2. And Snake King was always one of those guys that even if he was on like a tier 2 team, he was the highest rated player on the team.
Right.
And he was a guy that you would watch his replays. I think Smash is like that too. Like if you want to learn how to play offlane and play it like almost perfectly, at least when it comes to like the laning stage and in pubs, you watch Smash's replays. That guy's amazing at Dota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Would you say that Alchemist is going to be a first round ban for the entire tournament?
Yes. So many yeses. It's not even funny.
Do you think we should change our prediction to be most banned hero Alchemist, or is it still going to be Chen? That's the question.
Most banned hero. It could be Alchemist. It's just that I think some teams might let it through and try to counter it.
Yeah.
Or certain regions might not be playing it. I'm not sure if I don't think I've seen like China playing it a lot.
They definitely play it. Like
they do.
Yeah, maybe plays a ton of Alchemist. Paparazzi plays a ton of Alchemist.
I mean, they originated the Alchemist Radiance build.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Ferrari 430, right? I'm pretty sure that was something that came from China pubs. So
yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, I Alka's insane, but I also feel like there's a lot of people that might leave it and have this like early game draft versus Alchemist.
Sure.
I think there are some bans that are just like generally you just don't want to play a game against them, like Batrider, Chen.
Yeah. I mean,
Maya was that way before.
You could always just throw Monkey King mid every game against Alk too. I feel like
it's a meme counter though. Once again, like these things are meme counters. The way you counter Alk is not by like beating his hero. That doesn't work. Like he farms too fast. You have to be faster than him. You have to like end the game before he gets anything.
Sure.
And, like, pressure him really hard. That's the dumb thing. And Monkey King, like people aren't playing Alk mid. It's Alk carry.
Right.
So. Like I've seen so many people try to do like the Timber counter or the Morphling counter or the AA counter and it's Ursa into him. Like nothing works because these are still heroes that don't like take towers. You know?
Right. Yeah.
You need to like end the game before Alchemist has any items.
Sure.
It's a ridiculous hero.
I feel like Dragon Knight's going to be pretty good against him.
Yeah, probably.
Just because like he's a hero that you can't bully out of lane for any reason. He's gonna take your tower as soon as you go jungle. He naturally builds like extremely tanky. So Alchemist.
Once again, Alchemist is a safe laner. That's very important to note. Like you can go jungle as a safe lane. Your support takes the lane. That's why it's so stupid.
But I mean, if you were to put like Dragon Knight mid and then have like aggressive tri lane with like Monkey King or something like that, or like a kill lane with like I don't know, Sven Grimstroke plus.
I don't want to.
Anyway,
I guess. There's gonna be qualifiers after TI, but we've had success like doing aggro tri Visage into Alchemist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And, like pushing mid and Beastmaster safe lane, like put every hero pushing hero, every single hero.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if he just has a Radiance, that hero doesn't do very much. Like.
Yeah, especially if you've him locked in his base, and then from all the tower gold you have a Spirit Vessel.
Right.
Isn't Bounty great to disrupt Alk farming? Not really, because the thing is, like, Bounty plays slow as well. Like, he's a hero who wants to sit in Alk's jungle he doesn't take towers. You need tower hitters. Like, once again, a lot of these counters are kind of meme counters. Like, on paper, it sounds like it's going to work, but in practice, it just doesn't, because he just gets items and outscales you. Like, people are like, oh, you just get a Spirit Vessel against Alchemist. Yeah, but then by 25 minutes, he's 6 slotted and has 3 ways of taking off Spirit Vessel, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
With AA, he just has BKB Radiance, Assault Cuirass Basher by the time your AA is like level 11. And it's like, how is that a counter? Good job, AA. You made him so he can't heal while he kills your entire team with the BKB on.
Yep.
Who's the offlaner that I mentioned? Smash. He's a Peruvian offlaner. Extremely good.
Yep. Banned.
Very, very high skill when it comes to playing pubs, and he dominates lanes. He's like a dominator offlaner. He just destroys people. He's not that consistent. Well, he's consistently good, but I'm saying he's not like one of those guys that every game he'll get something. It's just that most games he'll dominate, and then he feeds relentlessly sometimes. But the games that he does dominate, you can see like exactly how to get the most off of the map, and the most out of a lane. All right, let's. You want to begin?
Yeah, sounds like groups were just announced, but we can check that out afterwards.
Oof, I want to see that.
All right. Okay. We'll go over the groups. We'll just do it. We'll do it live. Why not?
All right, you roll the intro.
I'm not seeing it on Wikipedia yet. Do you see it? Anyway, all right. What's up, everyone? This is Dota Alchemy Answers, episode 44. And we're going to start this one off a little bit differently. We're going to go over the groups. Are they actually announced? Were they given? Is this guy in chat just memeing me? Am I looking like a dumbass right now? Oh, there they are. Okay, we got them. So we're going to go over the groups real quick just to talk about them, see which one we think is stronger. And then we'll get into the questions from the patrons. And as always, this show, this entire channel is brought to you by you and our wonderfully generous Patreon supporters. So thanks to them. And if you want to join the crew, the link is down below in the description. Jenkins, what do you think about Group A?
Oh, great stuff.
You not looking at it? What are you doing?
I disconnected.
Schedule.
Let me look.
All right. Group A. It's not on Wikipedia, so I'll just read it to you. It's from Wickram's Twitter.
This is schedule. The group.
We've got Group A is Alliance, Chaos, Keen, Mineski, Newbie, LGD, Liquid, Secret, and TNC. Seems like a pretty top-heavy group. Here, I'll link the tweet to you.
God damn it, Grum.
Yeah, come on, man.
He's tweeting. It's not on the official site yet. He's just tweeting it.
Here you go.
I clicked the one Reddit link that doesn't link to this. It just links to the schedule.
Here you go, buddy.
Oh, cool. Okay. Group A, Alliance, Chaos. Alliance, they're okay. Chaos, they're brand new team. They won the EU qualifiers. That's pretty legit. Keen's decent. Mineski's okay. Newbie's okay. LGD, that's a good. Oh, shit. LGD, Liquid, Secret. And then TNC.
Yeah, this group seems pretty top-heavy.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem quite as balanced as the other one, maybe. But I don't know.
Pretty imbalanced. Obviously, you have Secret and Liquid that are probably going to come out on top of this.
LGD as well. Potentially, they haven't looked that great this year, but we don't really know.
LGD, they're I'm pretty sure they're super consistent, like top 6 at most majors.
Yeah. Group B.
They're never a slouch.
Group B is EG, Fnatic, Infamous, Navi, NIP, OG, RNG, Vici Gaming, and VP. So actually, now looking at that, I don't think it's really that imbalanced, to be honest, because
both groups are kind of top heavy. Like
it feels like there's like 2 teams, 3 teams maybe, and then there's sort of everybody else. But then there's also like
3 tiers. There's like 3 tiers.
Yeah, yeah, I would say.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously in Group B you have Vici, VP, who are just gonna like obliterate everybody. EG, that team has consistently. I know you just put out a hit piece on them because you got into a fight with their manager at one point or whatever it is that makes you hate them, Donnie. I don't know. Maybe you can speak on that, but EG has consistently gotten like top 4 in majors, right? So they're relatively consistently, so they're really solid. Fnatic, I think Fnatic is one of those teams that like people expect a lot more from.
They did going into this year, but then they just disappointed throughout the entire season. and then they made a switch, and nobody really knows how it's going to turn out because they moved their 5 to their 1 and brought in Dubu, who is their coach, to their 5. And to me, on paper, it looks better, but who knows whether they're going to actually come together. And that team seems to have tilting problems, so I don't really know what to expect from them. I feel like they're a momentum team. If they like go ham in the group stages, they could go really far. But if
they're definitely on like the second tier of being good, though, in this.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like I would say maybe I'm horribly wrong, and I just haven't been paying enough attention to the regions, but I would say like the tiers in Group B are EG, VP, Vici on the top tier, and then NIP, Fnatic, OG on the second tier.
Yep.
And then RNG, Infamous, and Navi on the bottom tier.
I would agree.
The dark horse tier, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And then Group A is Liquid, Secret,
LGD,
and then tier 2 would be
TNC and Alliance, probably only.
TNC Alliance, maybe Keen.
I don't know.
I know Keen is supposed to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They might be the second best. Let me see. So they qualified through the China qualifiers, right?
No, they were DPC. They like barely squeaked in with DPC points because they had like 1 third place or something like that, something really high. I think at Dream League they did really well. Can't quite remember at this point.
That's crazy. Let me look at the regionals.
But they were like, I think they were like 12th or 11th as far as qualifying points.
Oh, RNG. RNG won the China qualifier.
Yeah.
See, this is. I'm pretty sure RNG was an SEA team a while back. Like they were an org that had a team in SEA for a while. So I was thinking that they were.
No, see, RNG's they're actually a league org. Like they've gone to Worlds in League of Legends the last like 2 or 3 years. Yeah. And they just picked up the old LFY squad. Do you remember LFY from TI7 with like Monet and Afu? I think it was DDC, maybe it was on the team also.
Okay, yeah.
It was when they got third. It was like Liquid, Newbie, LFY, and RNG picked up the LFY players after Valve came out with. Yeah.
It's all like a cloud.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we? So tier 1, Liquid, Secret, LGD. Tier 2, you think Alliance and TNC?
I think that Alliance and TNC are tier 2, and then everybody else is below that.
I think like Chaos automatically goes into the tier 3 just because you've no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah. And then Mineski, I think they've been pretty disappointing.
I think they're probably my lowest ranked team at the entire event, to be honest.
I think a lot of people are saying that. Jenkins volume, is my volume too low?
I don't know. Seems fine to me.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I don't know enough about the teams in Group A to say exactly who's tier 2. I don't know. Interesting groups. I'd say nothing too like spectacular. Like they did a good job at balancing their groups. I guess whenever they announce groups, usually what you look for is like, all right, how imbalanced is this shit?
Right.
I think there's gonna be a lot of interesting games like Vici versus VP, Liquid versus Secret, EG versus everybody, and the LGD matches too. It's gonna be good. It's low. My volume is apparently low.
I don't know. All right, is that better? I was uploading the newbie video and I just canceled it. Maybe that'll make the bandwidth better.
1, 2. I think my volume's like ultra low. So let me try unplugging it. Plug it.
I'm looking at the mixer in OBS and
testing 1, 2, 69. Hour 1 second.
I'm looking at the mixer in OBS and it seems to be about the same volume as mine. Oh my god.
What?
Just a bunch of static.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Anyway, let's get into the Patreon questions.
Okay. Let's do it. You know, when I go to this event, this Moonduk event, I gotta let people know that I'm not like I'm not a big Dota esport watcher. You know what I mean? Like I'm a pub player. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm gonna offer any value to a TI broadcast, it's talking about pubs, not team stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like there's two types of players in Dota. There's the people who watch the esports, and then there's pub addicts. And I'm one of the pub people. I can speak for the people of Dota 2, you know, the people that play the game. Okay, let me look. All right. So first question, we have average EPing. What's a good role for Enigma in the new matchmaking system? I spammed them a lot, going from 1.7k
By the way,
to
before we get into it, are these the questions from like a week ago? Because we skipped Alchemy Answers last week, right? So we have like quite a few questions to do, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. I was kind of thinking maybe we could go back to them, see if people.
I mean,
post.
just do questions. We'll just do questions for 45 minutes and see how far we go. How about that?
Kind of what I was thinking.
Sounds good to me.
We're kind of chill here. We're kind of lax. We're just having a good time.
Yeah.
If you are a Patreon sub and you want us to answer your question, absolutely, and so you think it's like a really good question, feel absolutely free just to mention that in the Discord. I will take note of. I'm not trying to skip anybody. Not trying to be a dick here. Just kind of going wherever the wind takes us.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so our boy average EPing says he got from 1.7k to 2.7k with Enigma. Now, if he chooses Enigma, people get angry, say that he's not a good 4. They usually deny about 80% of range creeps in the lane and farm jungle, yada yada. Mech do Enigma stuff, but they say that you have to play him as a 3, and otherwise they blame you for losses. Notice that some of the best Enigmas play him as a 4. Go Greaves, Pipe before Blink. Yapsor is a great example of it. Yes. Okay, so you're basically saying your team flames you for playing it as a 4, and people get mad, and you want suggestions.
Here's the biggest suggestion. Stop giving a fuck what anybody else thinks about you in Dota 2. Period.
Yes. Cannot stress the amount of times in coaching sessions where I've told people you just need to ignore your team, do the right thing. If you want to assimilate somebody else's opinion into your opinion, do it after the game. During a game is not the time to be discussing the politics or like mathematics or strategy of Dota. That is for after games. Like the game is too quick and too instinctive that you need to just have an idea of how you want to play and just do it. And if you have to lose from doing the wrong thing, then after the game, look back and be like, all right, when I play Enigma as a 4, I need to do this. The worst thing that you can do is engage with people. It does absolutely nothing other than make them mad, make you mad, make you make the incorrect decisions, make them make the incorrect decisions, because you can't assimilate new information as quickly as within a Dota game. So there's no point. I would say, yeah, mute people and really look at your games and see if what people are saying about you is true. Are you being useless? How are the people that you're leaving in the lane? Are they losing the lane? If they are losing the lane, maybe you need to send your Eidolons to help out in the lane and lane a bit. There's quite a few ways that you could go about improving things, but the first step is to just do it and see if people's criticisms are correct after the fact. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, just act like Nike. Just do it. Right?
Wasn't it Shia LaBeouf that said that? I don't think it was Nike.
Yeah, it's definitely him. He gave Nike their slogan.
I think Nike took that from him, which is why he's so angry all the time.
For sure.
Nike. So Henrik says, I've been playing a lot of Earthshaker lately. What do I do when my team decides to take a fight that will yield no objectives and it just looks very risky in the first place? I tend to go shove a wave somewhere else or go grab bounty runes. Feels stupid to split push as an Earthshaker, but I refuse to participate in the shit show fights. So I'd say as Earthshaker, you can probably just go see if a shit show fight looks good, because if you just hit a big echo and you could possibly like turn the game around from a huge echo. I'd say Earthshaker likes chaos. He indulges in the chaos. If you don't have echo, then you don't show up to the fight, or if you don't have blink, you don't show up to the fight. And I would definitely say if your team is fighting as Earthshaker, man, that it's just with the hero. It's like
he is a fighter.
Blink, you probably should show up and fight. It's really bad to advocate showing in another lane when your team is fighting on Earthshaker. That just screams a problem to me when to advocate that. Like I think that hero should almost never be showing. If you want, you can go like fissure a wave somewhere, or you can jungle. I think that's good. Or getting bounties. That's also fine. But if you have Echo in a Blink Dagger, like you can turn a shit show fight into something very problematic for the enemy team, because that's what the hero does.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the rare exceptions.
I think there's like two halves to an Earthshaker game, and the first half is you are generally, I mean, unless you're a GH or somebody insane on it, really good at picking out situations where you can be aggressive. Most of the time, Earthshaker is a defensive hero until he has Blink Dagger. And once he has Blink Dagger, he becomes an aggressive hero.
He's a slow hero, and then he becomes fast when he gets Blink. I love that terminology these days, by the way.
Yeah, and so, like, I think that basically, once you have, I mean, and I don't know, just in general, he's a fighting hero. Like, he's a hero that gets gold through fighting, because his cooldowns, his mana costs are too high to just be shoving out every wave unless you're a core most of the time. And so basically, once your team starts fighting, like, you should be around the fight. But remember that until you have a Blink Dagger, your job is defensive, meaning that you should basically sit in the periphery of the fight and wait for somebody to get gone on, and then counter initiate with a long range fissure, saving them, and then get out of the fight. Like, that is your only job, basically. Until you have a blink, and then once you have the blink, then your job is to win fights for your team. So in both cases, you notice that I talked about fighting. So I think that you probably should be more apt to show up for fights, at least analyze whether you can contribute either defensively or aggressively depending on what scenario you're in.
What I always say is you can play the perimeter of a fight that you're not sure is good.
Yes.
And look.
Oh, this is beautiful. All right, Jenkins. Come on, man. I think that you should be on your perimeter of the fight, because that's when... Oh, you're back. Okay.
Did I disconnect?
Yeah.
Oh, well, where'd I cut out
at? You should be on the perimeter of fights.
Sure. Okay. I've been in coaching. I've been talking a lot about that with people. It's like, oh, my team's gonna flame me for not going in. Well, you can be at a fight without killing yourself. People.
Yeah, exactly.
For some reason, I saw this clip on Reddit where it was like Eternal Envy calmly tells his team to get out of a fight.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Like, use mana, get the fuck out, get the fuck out, get the fuck out, get the fuck out, use mana, get the fuck out, we're gonna win. And it's like, oh man, he's so loud, but I get what he's saying. You know, for some reason, people in Dota seem to have this idea that like once a fight starts, like, let's fucking go, we're fighting to the death, guys. Like some gladiator shit where you're in the Colosseum and like the Roman emperor is just gonna kill you if you don't fight to the death. Like, you have to fight to the death. That's what people think, but you don't have to do that. That's not Dota.
Yeah.
You can just chill and be like, fuck this, I'm not a gladiator if you want, you know, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the only times that that's not applicable is when the other team just has like infinite amounts of catch. Like if you're playing against like a Storm Spirit and like an Earthshaker with Blink Ags, there's no way you're gonna get out of the fight. But most of the time, you can, you know, you use the terminology, I use the terminology, soft engage. Like, you don't have to just fully commit every single time that any engagement starts out.
You don't have to go rock hard. Just go soft. That's all.
Yeah, go soft support instead of hard support.
Yep. All right, NF says, Jenkins, can you please try to disprove this logic? Someone asked if IQ and MMR are related. I argued that they are inversely proportional. The logic is as follows. Masochism is a trait of low IQ individuals. The higher the MMR, the stronger the prevalence of masochistic tendencies. Ergo, the lower the IQ. Prove me wrong. Pro tip, you can't. Well, I can tell you that there is not an inverse relationship with MMR and penis size, because I have a very large penis and my MMR is quite high. So that's my response.
I thought your MMR was only average.
And Donnie has an average sized dick. That's how it works.
Okay.
Because masochism is also a trait of masculinity, and masculinity it corresponds and correlates to penis size, because testosterone and things, science obviously. So ergo, the bigger the MMR, the bigger the hard support.
Well, how does Ellie feel about her lack of MMR, because she doesn't have a penis? And,
listen,
and therefore,
don't try
basically
to disprove me.
what you're saying is that your girlfriend, who you've bragged about as being a 6K player, is actually trash at the game because she doesn't have a penis, and therefore you're saying that women are not equal to men, and therefore you're being extremely misogynist right now, which I'm not going to tolerate on this channel.
Okay, listen.
Come on, man. Bring Ellie in here. Ask her the question.
This is America, and we argue based not on logic and science, but on feeling. Okay? And I feel that I'm right. I feel that everything that I've said today is correct and just in the eyes of God. And today is the day that I'm taking a stand against you, Donnie, for somebody who advocates truth over feeling.
All right, well, I don't know what they're doing up there in Canada, but I'm ready. I'm ready to move on to the next truthful question that I will answer.
Okay, so let's see. This one specifically for Jenkins, since I know his Dota matchmaking ecosystem has changed a bunch. But has your perspective on MMR since changed? Has my perspective on MMR changed since the change? I find myself looking at the game more objectively and find my skill as a whole in order to... Oh, sorry, he's looking at his skill as a whole in order to get more enjoyment out of the game instead of the day-to-day MMR grind. Not exactly sure how long this will last. I think that's pretty correct. I'm finding that as well, because there's so many people smurfing and the games are so crazy that you can lose 40, gain 10, that it's very hard to accurately judge somebody's skill based on their MMR. And I'm hoping that one day that'll be fixed. I really do, but maybe it's for the best that it doesn't get fixed, you know?
I love Strict Solo Queue. Strict Solo Queue has gotten infinitely better. It's gotten so much better because I just play the same games that I played before, except everybody has a role, so nobody argues. And I think the only problems where that are, like, the only times that arises, like any big problems arises, is when you have like an immortal support and then you've got like a divine 3 carry and you're just like, all right, this is going to be a tough game. But at least you know going into it that you need to like make this carry's game extremely good to make up for the fact that he's like 1,000 MMR below the carry on the other team. Or you need to prioritize your like divine 7 carry or mid player and hope that he's actually going to carry the game instead of your carry player. I don't know. I think it gives you a little bit more context to work with as opposed to just having a bunch of random people like screaming at each other to figure out who's going to get the right role. So I like that.
Solo queue for me is done. Like you can't solo queue it. I watched Moo play with like 3 divine players as an offlaner, and it looked so miserable. He looked so miserable. He's just like 3,000 MMR above the players that he's playing with. That's there are people that literally are 3,000 MMR, you know, and he's that much above the people he's playing with. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So, but the games that I have played, the party queue games, are really, really good. They're really fun. So
right, when you actually have like a real 5-stack against a real 5-stack.
Yeah, it's like less games, but when you do get the games, they're really good. All right. Kinryoku says, hey guys, question. Lately I've played a lot of Vengeful Spirit, position 5, which is going great, 76% win rate on 14 games. Sometimes during the laning stage, I get lost on what to do. My feeling is that she's fairly weak at trading. This is true. Small range, high mana stun. I often try to pull and get contested, so this does not always work out as I would like. Therefore, I thought about leveling up my aura to level 2 to 3 and just sit by my carry, making it easier for him to last it.
Is this CM?
No,
Sorry.
no, that's Venge.
Oh, Venge.
So,
yeah.
This is another one of those things. I think Donnie and I have talked about this to some degree, but there's like a misconception here that last hitting is hard, and like last hits for your carry should be free, because that's what a Quelling Blade does. Is it makes the last hits, it gives you a 24 damage window bigger than your opponent to get the last hit, and you can pull creeps into tower, and you can pull creeps into the neutral camps, and there are all of these tactics that you should be using. That last hitting is not like a goal of the laning stage to make last hitting easier. That's not really like a concern for people. I would say the most concerning thing that I've seen in what you wrote is that you're unable to pull the camp. That's the most important thing about the laning stage. So what I would recommend is, depending on the lane that you're playing in, get a tango and tango one of the trees that is blocking the easy camp, and pull through those trees so that the guys that are contesting you don't have vision of the creeps as you're pulling it. The easy camp is extremely broken right now, and that's the reason why. It's very difficult to contest if you just abuse vision. And you can cut down trees and pull it like diagonally on both sides. So you want to try to do that, especially if your carry has a QB. Be like, hey, come over here and QB this shit.
Yeah, I think that as I actually just recently played a game as Venge support, and it's a hero that I try to avoid most of the time, just because like I feel like she has pretty bad overall potential in like solo queue games. But I had an Alchemist on my team, and Venge is one of the best heroes at stacking in the jungle. And I think that there's just sort of like a misconception that you need to be there helping your carry get last hits. Like, basically, you help them secure the first wave, maybe the first couple waves, and then you try and just give your carry free, like, solo experience by keeping the wave near their tower. Because if you think about it, if the wave is in front of their tower and you're trying to help them get last hits, are you really accomplishing anything at all other than leeching their experience? Probably not. Maybe you get like a deny here or there, but they should be able to get all the last hits whether you're there or not. So you should try to just focus on keeping the wave where it's easy for your carry to get last hits, as opposed to like spending your body and resources trying to secure like hard to get last hits when you could just solve the problem by keeping the wave in the right spot.
Agreed.
And then when it's there, then you go stack, you go gank, like be active.
Easy camp's first thing you should stack.
Yes. I mean, with Venge, you can stack the easy and the mid at the same time, because you're insane with your Wave of Terror.
Do that. Eddie Mercury says, how do you stop from losing hundreds of MMR in a couple of weeks? Taking breaks has seemed to make things worse, and I don't really want to keep playing for fear that I'm going to lose months of work. Is it possible that this isn't a loss streak, and instead I'm just approaching my true MMR? No, not if you're learning. One thing that I always have I recently had this conversation with Ellie about. I had this conversation where we talk about how particular people in the Dota scene have said that, not you, like nobody alchemy related. Particular people in the Dota scene have said, I can't get past this MMR, like I've reached a cap, yada yada. And the concept of a cap is just incredibly stupid. There is no cap. Nobody's special. Nobody is better than anybody else. Nobody is worse than anybody else. And to think on either end, negatively or positively, is incorrect. If you think that you've hit a cap, you're wrong. If you think that you're better than everybody else and that you can do it faster than everybody else, you're wrong. Either way is bad, and I think the idea of it sounds like you're possibly worried that you're just like hitting a cap, and really the problem is like you should just be worried if you're mentally plateauing, and what do you need to learn. I guess you're asking if you're hitting like a plateau, which is definitely a valid question, but I just did want to make a point of that I think that a lot of people think that, oh, I played Dota for 10 years and I'm still 1.5k. Am I just a special flower that can't do it and everybody else can? No, you're doing something wrong that everybody else has done wrong and have fixed.
Yep.
I climbed 3k MMR in 2 weeks. Am I going to be the next Miracle? No, you just happen to do things right. You might have put in the right effort. You might have gotten lucky. Nobody is a special flower, and it's good. It's a good thing. We're all equal. Nobody can escape the rules of being human. And basically what I'm saying here, to kind of sum it all up, is that I would not worry about approaching a true MMR. I would not worry about that because you're just no different from Miracle, but you're also no different from a guy 2k below you. Nobody's different, and you can, be happy about that, because that means that you're not capped. You can just keep playing, and you'll just either get better, and your MMR will get better, or you'll get worse. Your MMR will get worse. But as long as you're learning, then you've nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely plateaued for quite some time for various reasons.
Plenty of people have.
And I'm currently slightly plateauing now. Like, it happens. That's generally how growth happens, is you make strides and then you get stuck, and then you make more strides once you learn more or do something different, and then you get stuck again. Think about it like this. You're basically like, right now you've got a bucket and it's filled with water, right? And you have like a small to medium sized bucket, and it's completely filled with water, and it feels like I can't put any more water into this bucket because it's as big as it's going to get. But if you were to just upsize the bucket that you have, suddenly you have a lot more capacity for water to fit in there. And what you're doing right now is you're instead trying to like jostle the bucket around and like hope that it's somehow going to be able to fit more water, and you're trying to like stuff the water deeper into the bucket to put more water into the bucket, and it's just resulting in water splashing out. And so what you need to do is you need to work on actually changing the container of this water, of your MMR, by adding more space to it, adding more options, adding more volume capacity. And I think that if you're having this panicked reaction, because, I mean, to be honest, if you're afraid to play Dota, you're going to play like shit. So don't play Dota. If your concern is that you're going to lose MMR, do not play Dota. Because if you're concerned about losing MMR, you're going to lose MMR. It's like very, very binary.
I couldn't interrupt you. That analogy was so good. That was such a good analogy. I love that. I have nothing else to say. I love that analogy. Yes, when you are replacing water from one bucket to another, water will spill out.
Yeah.
You will have less water, but it gives you the capacity to fill with more water. That always happens when you are assimilating information. You will always, in the short term, get worse because you're trying to fit something into a puzzle where the piece doesn't exactly fit. You need to make it fit. So you'll get worse, and then you'll have an idea of how to play Dota, and you'll just be better. But it takes time.
Yeah.
Got to walk over to the bucket store. Okay, let's see. Lots of people offering advice, which is good stuff. George says, what counters save heavy lineups with Omni Knight, or Omni plus Dazzle, Omni plus Oracle, Winter Wyvern plus Omni? It feels impossible to win fights against these heroes since you can't kill anyone.
You
okay.
kill the save. You always go on the save.
You always go on the save, but AoE team fighters are really good against save heroes because it's AoE, so you can just pause the entire fight while they're stunned and pick whoever you want to kill and then kill them.
Yep.
Which is really great. So Earthshaker, Tidehunter, Enigma, Faceless Void. These heroes are the bane of the existence of these save heroes. I would completely try to pick those sorts of heroes. That's your answer. That's how you really deal with it.
Yeah, like most save heroes can only save one hero at a time, and so if you threaten them with having to save 3 heroes at a time, then suddenly you make their job extremely difficult, and chances are they're going to pick the wrong hero most of the time. Especially in pubs, they're probably going to prioritize themselves more often than not. And
this is accurate.
And that is going to allow you to win a lot of fights because they're essentially going to be a useless hero.
Yep.
Which is also why, if you don't have AoE, you go on the save hero every time, because if you can get the Dazzle to grave himself, you can get the Omni to use his ability on himself, or GA like only one other hero because he's running away from the fight to escape you. I mean, you completely nullified what that hero can do for the rest of the fight. So then you can actually fight on your terms after that.
George also asked, how do you deal with split pushing heroes when you can't kill the split pushing hero? Boots of Travel. There you go. Hybrid Theory says, who do you think are the best solo offlaners at the moment other than Enchantress? Well, let me read you my tier list, which I have put into my Dota 2, because you can do that now, which is really cool.
Nice. Did you actually? Yeah. You want my? I'll show you my grid afterwards. I like my grid a lot. I want to see your tier list because that sounds cool as well.
Yeah, I have mine in like S, A, B, C tier, and then supports that I can pick and carries that I can pick, and then that's it. And then all the other heroes.
I have a ranked support one with different things. I have like my main hero pool, like the 5 heroes that I'll first pick, and then I have lane bullies, save, team fight, and then I think one other category, and then I have situational / meme heroes, which is like Luna and like random shit that I'll pick every now and then.
I need to add a meme tier. So I have S tier, Axe, Enchantress. A tier, Ogre, Beastmaster, Batrider, Mars, Omni Knight. Did I say A tier or B tier? That was my A tier. B tier is Pudge, Sand King, Bristleback, Slardar, Spirit Breaker. And then C tier is basically every other offlaner except for Tidehunter and Underlord.
Who are unpickable?
Who are unpickable for me. For me personally.
Gotcha.
That is my Jenkins is dog shit at these heroes tier. So
I've been hearing rumblings that Underlord has potential, but
I think probably that's accurate, but I don't know. We'll see.
Sure.
Hybrid Theory. Oh yeah, that's what he already asked that. If you two are on a team together, who would be Fly, who would be No Tail? Dude, I'm obviously Fly.
I mean, so you're the non-TI winner. I'll take that.
Yeah, but my dad invented some Krav Maga or whatever the hell it is, some jujitsu. Form of jujitsu.
Sure. Well, at least people like me. Not everybody hates me.
I don't think everybody hates Fly, but whatever. You're you know, you can fucking relax for a second there, Donnie, you piece of shit. How's that sound? How's that sound, motherfucker?
Yeah, you sound a lot like the villain in this scenario to me right now.
Everybody loves villains. I'm the anti-villain. 4 says, is building a Shadow Blade on Slark 100% necessary? No. Just a good item.
I was just going to follow that up. A lot of really good Slark players do not go Shadowblade because it gives you no stats. And especially in competitive, Slark is played a lot more as like a hard carry, a farming hero, because he's so fucking good in the late game against the heroes that you pick him against, like Alchemist and Medusa and that kind of stuff. So you just need to get to like the late game with a bunch of items to keep you alive, and Shadowblade is none of that, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let me see. RFX says, beyond skill, JCJ, what a god. Beyond skill, what would you say are the... Oh my fucking god. I'm just going to take a wild guess and say key goals are gonna come up here. Beyond skill, what would you say the 3 most important factors are to being a good teammate? How, if at all, do these factors differ by position? All right. I didn't get Kegel baited this time. I would say that the most important factor to being a good teammate is to help your teammate do Kegels. That's probably the first thing. And then like the second thing is informing them on the correct way to do Kegels. Donnie, what would you say the third thing is?
Sorry, I spaced out because your answer was bullshit.
Okay, important factors to being a good teammate. Okay, so number 1, there's some different terminology for this, and in North America, it's pretty vulgar. I won't name names or say what it. But one of the worst things about being a good teammate, and therefore one of the best things about being a good teammate, is not doing this, and that's just focusing on like worthless shit after games, like, oh, you ruined my game. We shouldn't have done we shouldn't have done this at 60 minutes into the game. Like somebody who can break down a game into the things that you can change in the future to fix the game, that is incredibly valuable. Most people think that they can do that, and they can't. They look at things that didn't actually matter. They look at points of the game where they lost, where that hero shouldn't even be played at that point in the game anyway. It's like people aren't looking, like you have a specific strat that you want to do, and then you fuck up the strat, and then people look at what happens after that, and it's like, no, that's not what happens. That's not what you should look at. So that's just important in being a good teammate in general, and I think that goes for every single player. Every single player is involved in looking at replays. And then communication, like communicating things that is necessary, and like understanding your role and what you need out of the game. So saying like, okay, my hero does this typically at this time, and I need somebody to do this to help me accomplish that. That's really important because in competitive, in like a team environment, you can actually have people do things that you need, and that allows you to optimize way more than in pubs. And being a good teammate, I mean, I guess you're asking for like the team side of things and not really mechanical side of things. Not being like a dick, not being like defensive to criticism. That's pretty important. Like being able to give criticism and have a heart where you can like empathize with somebody and see if they're like getting upset, and just like assure them that it's not, like being able to criticize somebody, have them respond poorly to criticism, and then assure them that instead of fighting, assure them it's like, yo, this is from a place of like trying to get better. And then also not responding poorly to criticism. That's really important in a teammate, because Dota's not about like the shit that happens within one game. Dota's about what happens over a month of learning. And then the game is just instinct, So
yeah. I mean, I think you covered a lot of good sort of like team dynamic stuff. I think if you're looking for advice on how to be a better teammate in pubs, I don't know if that was the direction that you wanted to go with the question, but my advice is basically to just pick like 2 or 3 things that you can do really well in the game to help your team. Whether like just be very black and white with the things that you can do at various stages of the game. In the laning stage, I can help my team by checking the runes at every 2 minutes, by stacking these camps, by keeping the lane here, by making this rotation to make this hero's game hard because it's the only hero that we didn't counter with our draft. Those kind of things, and then just do that and focus on those things, and your game will be a lot easier because you won't have to sort of do these decisions on the fly, which is when a lot of people make mistakes because they don't plan ahead. So yeah. I think that's like almost a superpower in Dota, is just planning ahead a little bit.
I'm telling you, you shouldn't pick a hero, at least in competitive, unless you've played, like exactly at each minute what you want to do on the hero.
Yeah.
So many people think that pro players are just like, pick some random hero. Oh, they just figured it out in their brain of how to play it. No, they've practiced that shit meticulously.
Yeah.
And if they haven't practiced it, they're really thinking about what to do at the individual points and like minimizing risk.
Yeah.
Massively. Okay. Ju says, can you give some tips on using global silence correctly, especially against blink counter initiators like Tidehunter? Well, against those heroes, it's easy. Number one, I don't think Tide's a blink. I guess that doesn't matter. But the most important thing is like you just use it as a fight starting, and then that hero can't counter initiate, and then when it's down, you'd be like, guys, get the fuck out.
Yep.
That's all I can really say there is that usually when it comes to team fights, it's not as cut and dry as like, oh, you follow this flowchart to succeed. It's more so you can usually identify in a game a way to take fights that will work 100% of the time, where it's like, oh, I just need to focus this guy. Oh, this guy needs to, if this guy BKBs, I'm going to roar him. Okay, if I silence after the Ravage, they have no damage in the Ravage, and then they don't have Ravage, and they've wasted it, and then we can fight. Like, you just need to identify a way to fight, and then do that. I think following one single flowchart is definitely a mistake, because it's not going to work the same every game.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, there are games where it's like, if you just focus this guy or silence this guy, then they have no damage. Sometimes they have so much damage that silencing one guy's not enough. What if they have OD plus Ursa? Both of those heroes do damage. Maybe at that point, you need to nullify the person that's doing the disable. They only have one disabler. It's like it depends on the game.
Yep.
But I would say, generally speaking, like against blink counter initiators, you just
preemptively use it.
Preemptively, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I really like playing Silencer against a hero like Storm Spirit, for example, because you can make your job so easy. You just wait for the storm to zip in, you silence him, and then he's going to have to use something defensive to get out. Like, completely nullifies that hero. But the point of that example is, again, it's planning ahead and creating a simple scenario for you. I think you summarized it perfectly when you said that you should look at a fight and figure out how you can fight, and only take fights on those terms if possible. Because I think there's just like this misconception that Dota is incredibly complicated because people are trying to do all these things on the fly all the time. They're just like running at each other and being like, I don't know if we're going to win this fight, but if I hit all my skills perfectly and somehow get lucky that I don't get disabled, then we're probably going to win this fight. As opposed to being like, do I have BKB? No? Okay, I'm not going to fight. Do I have BKB? Yes? Okay, we just won the game. Like, you really can break the game down to those simple of terms.
All these like binary decisions. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And there's only like 15 of them per game that you need to make, which per game that lasts like 45 minutes. It's not that many decisions per minute, you know?
Yeah.
It's just that in Dota, like if you make the wrong decision, it can really hurt you that you can't make any more right decisions, you know? Okay.
Yeah.
What are some considerations as an initiator /3 when deciding to build your game around a Blink Dagger or Shadowblade? Blink Dagger is for initiating fights. Shadowblade is for hunting split pushers and just hunting and killing. So Shadowblade's not really for initiation. Like, you're not going to walk into a team with Shadowblade and initiate if the enemy team is good. That's for split pickoffs. If the enemy team is good, they'll have detection. They'll kill you every time. Blink Dagger is for engaging in team fights. If you need to take engagements in a sort of way, or like jump on one hero in a sort of way, then that's what the Blink Dagger is for, and that's most of the time on a lot of these heroes. Okay. Did I disconnect?
Nope. Sorry, I was just banning somebody who's been spamming our chat.
View deleted message. I think he was saying my hairstyle looks nice.
Yeah, he said it 50 times.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, keep spamming. I'm gonna positively reward spamming by reading spam messages.
Too bad he won't be spamming anymore. Anyway, are we done? Do we have time for chat questions or no?
There's a few more questions.
All right, go for it.
People keep slamming them in here, so we'll keep slamming them out. Can Alch meta possibly turn into a TI9 meta, the TI9 meta into a death ball? Yes, I literally think that will happen. Like, just yes. Yes, I think that's gonna happen. That's my theory. I'm making a video tonight about this.
Yeah, I think you can look at most successful heroes right now in pro level pubs. Lycan, 61% win rate. Visage, 61% win, or 60% win rate. Broodmother, 55% win rate. Meepo, 58% win rate. All of these heroes end the game incredibly quickly, and that's going to start happening a lot. 100%.
Average EP, and when do I rush Blink Online? I hate doing it. I like to get aura items /
Don't.
/scores.
Stop doing that. Do not fucking rush Blink Online. It's terrible.
Souls, is it worth it? Not as a 5-line. Not as a 4-line either, actually. 5-line can't afford it, so you should go smaller items.
Yes.
And a 4-line can afford it, so you should go other items before it.
Yes.
Souls, is it worth it to start Sage's Mask on Luna position 4 to complete Bassi from the side shop? Yes. Severian. In fact, that's what I see people doing in Europe who are unironically playing that shit. So yes, do that. That shit's good. Severian says, okay, so should I learn to play even if playing the way I think will teach me the most is losing a lot? How do I understand if I'm just throwing instead of learning? That's a fucking good question. Okay, so keep a journal. Just keep a journal of what you're struggling with, how you intend to fix it, and try to implement it. And then if it doesn't work, come up with another idea. And then eventually you'll implement it, and whatever it is that you're struggling with won't keep happening. So for me, it's like on Sand King, I would struggle in the early levels, like level 1 to 3, I'd lose the game. So I started cutting wave on Sand King. Now I do it in every single game and never lose between level 1 to 3. That's my solution because I kept a journal.
Play one less game than you would normally in a day, and use that time to review your replays and actually break down what you're doing in the game and take notes. Yep.
Yeah. Token says could apply to more heroes, but started spamming Ursa. Generally, it seems like Phase, Drums, Blink, Basher, BKB, Abyssals, a standard build. But I've noticed on Dota 2 Protractor, there's a large variety of pro items, Eggs, Diffusal, Sanjin Yasha, Satanic, Midas, etc., etc. I've seen players even skip Blink. I'd say most players skip Blink because it's just the anti-kite build. You blink and you get kited if you just go Blink. So for like the Sanjin Yasha build, I would say generally if you're snowballing, you just go full movement speed and Basher. You can kill everybody in a team fight and they literally can't do anything. Also, Sanjin Yasha gives you
stash resistance,
which is broken, which is just insane. Ags is if they like don't have silences, if they just have stuns and you can get the Ags ulti off, it's really good. Desos for doing tower damage. Midas is if like you don't need to end the game early if you really want to snowball in levels or your game is just like free farm and Midas isn't going to hurt you, then you can go for Midas. Diffusal is just generally an extremely good item on agi carries that's trending a lot right now. Like people are just going Diffusal on Void and Diffusal on Slark. It's something that's really nice because it makes it like it's kind of like a halfway point of like a mobility item because you just Diffusal somebody. You don't need to stun them. You don't need to blink on them or anything like that. You just close the gap with the Diffusal. It's like a pseudo stun that also is one of the best damage items in the game.
Yeah, you also burn 350 mana immediately with overpower from anybody that you go on, which makes it very hard for them to get away from you afterwards.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I think, Diffusals. The only problem with Diffusals is it takes up a slot. And Ursa, like you said, it likes a lot of items. Nullifier, great against... Nullifier's really great against like items, like heroes that you really need to get a Yule's off or BKB or Ghost Scepter. Sheep is really good if you can burst somebody like instantly and, let's say some Tinker or some Life Stealer, where if you don't, if you silence them or something like if you need a full on disable, Sheep is for that. Daedalus, you should literally never go for that on Ursa. That shit is not good on Ursa. Anyway, that was kind of all the items. What supports do you recommend for 1 to 2K bracket? Whatever you're good at, whatever you're comfortable with and winning with. I would just experiment. There will be heroes that you get better than other people, and you just keep Rage says, how do you not give up on Dota as support when you're at a bracket where people refuse to play together or take objectives when the enemy team is wiped? Pick heroes that take objectives.
Or buy a Meteor Hammer.
Jew, maybe pick a good support for rushing, pushing, aka Shadow Shaman or Nature's Prophet. Oh, the Jew was just responding to that. Yeah, I agree. That's my 2 cents as well. Yo, try this build, dog. If you're struggling with people pushing shit, get Bassi, disassemble it. Get Bassi Blightstone, disassemble it into an eventual medallion, and then also a Spirit Vessel. Try that build on supports. It's really, really good because the Bassi and Blightstone helps you push on your own if you just go behind a Siege Wave. That shit's super dope. Super dang. All right, that's it. Are we done?
Nice. All right, speed round from chat because everybody's been spamming chat. Real nice.
Sure.
Real nice. Put your questions in chat right now, and we'll answer a couple of them.
Like two of them.
I mean, I'll answer 3, but that's because I'm a better person than Jenkins because he's Fly and I'm No-Tail. So.
Why on earth do you think Fly is all of a sudden the bad guy in the story? What a joke.
Are you guys going to Jungle Jam? Jenkins is going to Jungle Jam. He'll be there. Anybody
let me know if you're going to Jungle Jam as well. We can hang out.
I have a question for you, you and Jenkins. Both. See, I have a question for you and Jenkins. So me, not really you, but you're also included because he doesn't want to leave you out. Both of you, how do you learn things mostly in Dota? Who do you give credit to, yourself or watching games or playing it? Basically, how do you learn stuff, and do you credit yourself with coming up with ideas, or do you gain ideas from other people more?
There are ideas that I have, but I mean, I got an idea from Hawkillionaire from a coaching session today. He had this, we basically like decided that the way that you should play the safe lane is pull the range creep at 1 minute 15, then stack it, then chain pull it.
The small camp, you mean?
Yes, the small camp. We went through the whole breakdown of it, and it's like, I'm legit a huge fan of that idea. Usually Dota, like the thing with Dota is like coming up with ideas it's usually a discussion, which is pretty nice. I think I just got invited to a Chinese boosting stack. This is nice. Nice, dude. They're boosting a Smurfs.
Is it Godzi?
I'm not gonna tell you, man. I'm not calling anybody out.
Totally is. Godzi is such a G. I was gonna say that I think that one of the biggest things that will make you a better Dota player is just to have an open mind. Like, I think it's so common to just believe that you have all the right ideas. And even just the other day, I played with a Baden player who was at my MMR, and a lot of the time I would kind of just like write off anybody that I'm playing with because I don't, Divine, okay, cool, like they're decent players, but they're not, top tier players, so probably write that off. But then this guy did such a cool build on a Baden, and I thought about it logically, and I was like, logically, this seems incredibly good. And so I'm really excited to try it now because it's just something that I saw somebody doing, that they had come up with, a logical chain of things. They had, 700 games on a Baden. They figured out that this build makes a lot of sense. I'm going to try it out. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. A couple more from chat and then you can go.
I do want to credit some people though. I usually play on random teams. I credit teams a lot with the discussion make me better. Donnie and I chat a lot. That makes me better. I watch replays. That makes me better. Like, and I talk to people. I ask people. Like, I just ask people that are on my friends list, what do you think about this? So for anybody that's on like FS for Friends, Patreon tier, people that have me added. Unfortunately, there's a limit to Steam friends list. Otherwise, I'd add everybody. But for anybody that is on my friends list, feel free to ask anything because that is a very good way that most people get good at Dota. In fact, I would say that almost everybody that's entered into the pro scene in the last 5 to 6 years has had some sort of mentor or somebody that they talk to about Dota a lot. That has a a good idea on the game.
Yeah, didn't Sumail ask Universe a lot of questions and like get to know the Universe?
I always hear people crediting other people when it comes to this shit.
Yeah, it's just like a proliferation of ideas, and like when your ideas fuck another person's ideas, and they have better offspring because they have the genes from 2 ideas. So it's like that's just how evolution happens. And to answer the question, what was the build? It was Phase, Vlad's, Midas into Holy Locket and Aghanim Scepter. Because the new Ags makes you spray out mist coils when your teammates take damage, and Holy Locket amplifies how much healing that does.
Dude, I like these late Midas pickups.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just get an
Huge
early
fan.
game item.
Especially if you have an EXP talent like a Baden does. It's like
and if you're like a hero that values right clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that shit's really good. Really, really good.
Agreed. All right. Well, we're going to call it there. I have to go make some more TI-19 previews, and Jenkins has to go abuse the system to get higher MMR so that he feels good about himself. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. TI-9 starts very soon. Who's excited? I'm excited. You're excited. Everybody's excited. This can be super fun. We're going to have a bunch of content coming out. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. Thanks to our patrons for the support.
Dude, I'm going so ham on content during TI. I'm going to do replay review after fucking replay review. Oh, my God.
Where are you going to find the time, dude? You're going to be at Jungle Jam. You're going to be watching.
I'm bringing my laptop. I'm going ham.
All right.
It's TI.
Do some behind-the-scenes stuff. That'll be fun. People will enjoy that.
Sure.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Good luck in your games. We'll see you next time.